So let's start with defining proof of relevance for your technology. So what you really want, you want to prepare a statement about your technology, specifically how will your technology get adopted, right? And right away, you want to know what your technology does. For example, it treats diabetes or treats stroke. But right away, you want to be able to define why it will get adopted, namely by defining how it is different from others. From, is it more effective? Is it less expensive? Less toxic? Less invasive? And what is it got a different addressable population? So how is it different? And these kind of questions will answer and inform exactly what is the product profile based on your technology. And to really get there, one of the other things as you define this relevance is to understand what is the competition that your product profile will fit in. What's the pipeline, other technologies that have either been developed, in development, or have been abandoned. For example, if it's stroke, you really want to think about what are all the other technologies that have failed, why they failed, and why is yours going to be different and a reason to invest in. Okay? So what's your story? Is it totally new? Nobody thought of this pathway and target before? Or has it been told before, but you have a new angle, something different? And how dense is the competitive space? What's the pipeline look like when you think about maybe it's a drug for high blood pressure? How many other drugs already exist? What's the standard of care? How much is the unmet need? What's the competition? And as you define this proof of relevance statement, what are the tools you use? How do you gather information? How do you define your pitch? These are some of the websites that our group, especially RES, likes to use. Some are government websites with public information, like clinicaltrials.gov. There is, for what is the current standard of care, clinical information from a website called uptodate.com. And then there are a lot of business news, investor websites, information, in particular, Fierce and Fierce apps that are for biotech would be relevant. All right. So then you want to test the statement that you're coming up with, your proof of relevance, and how best to test it, then to define that product profile that you've come up with by testing it with potential customers and consumers. And when you think of your customer, if you're thinking about a startup that is a therapeutic startup, who's most likely your potential customer? It is going to be, your exit is going to likely be acquisition by a large pharma company. So that's your customer. So work with your technology commercialization and investment groups like RES's group to understand what is the feedback that you're getting from the potential customer as you're defining your proof of relevance. You also want to talk to who are the consumers, the key opinion leaders, the clinicians who will be using that product or prescribing that product. Okay? Basically, you're trying to answer the question, if you build it, will they come? Right? That's your proof of relevance. You're trying to build a startup company. You're trying to build a product that you want to sell.